Welcome everyone to the Top Gear Philippines podcast. We are back for episode 10, a milestone episode. I am Leandre.
And this is Carlo.
This is Dinzo.
And we're back. There are more of us now. Last week it was just Dinzo and Anton. So now let's get right to it for our milestone episode. It's so fun to say that.
It's a pretty big milestone for us. I mean,
Episode.
the fact we got to episode 10
Yeah.
is a good thing. I think we can cut the season here.
Next thing you know, we're at episode 100. So, yeah. So, first things first, let's head over to the news. So, there was something pretty exciting, at least for me, this week. The Hyundai N and Toyota Gazoo Racing collab. It made a lot of buzz, at least in our social media. So Hyundai N is partnering with Toyota Gazoo Racing for a festival to be held in South Korea, and they're going to be showcasing their hydrogen models, their electric vehicles, and their high performance cars like the Ioniq 5N, Elantra N, Supra. So that's pretty cool. What do you guys think?
Well, I find it interesting because they're the two mainstream brands that are actually going all in on performance cars. So GR Toyota has been pushing out a lot of cars since the 86, diba? And then you have the Hyundai, which has been coming out with the N cars. They've been hiring the right people. They've been building the right cars. And I think some of the most exciting cars we've driven this year are from Hyundai.
Sir Dinzo himself drove an N car at the Nürburgring where the N models were birthed.
Yeah, spoke about it in this podcast.
Yeah.
And unforgettable experience. And to recap, N has really come a long way. I think it's relatively new. It's not doesn't have the history of other aftermarket or performance divisions, but it's amazing how far it has come in such a short time. And I like the love shown between the two brands. Actually, on social media, you can see even the local brands are sharing and tagging each other. Toyota Philippines and Hyundai Philippines are tagging each other, and hopefully a media event manifests from this. And I know for documentation.
The event is on October 24 yata. So
This month? I know we're tired.
hindi aabot.
No, it's okay. Send us the photos. We'll
Wala
publish
may
it.
visa.
But the event is in Korea. That's
Yeah,
why
it's
the
in
visa
South
is needed. Yeah. So,
It's gonna be fun. Let's wait for the content to come out from that.
oh.
So yeah. Next up is the new McLaren. It's also the talk of the town. The successor to the F1 and the P1. It's the W1.
What does W stand for?
I honestly don't know.
Diba? That's parang like F1 made sense. P1 a little bit, but W1.
Oh, ano, what is the progression? No? F, P, W. Right?
I don't know.
That's
But I saw one of the Facebook shares. I think Anton made the caption. It's another W for McLaren.
That's true.
Well, I think people think it's a great car. It's pretty wild. Apart from just the horsepower output, and the torque output. It's the active tail, the McLaren active tail. It's basically the wing extends for farther than the tail of the car, like the rear end of the car, and it gives maximum downforce. And I believe it's gonna be a hell of a toy to drive on the track.
I've seen that. It looks awesome. Reminds me of the Veyron. Does it also, right? There's a but pataas lang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the Veyron does that.
Actually, even like if I remember, some Porsches did it also, diba? Parang ito they extend the wings past the car.
This one is rearward.
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 Okay.
Like the Panamera, right? It'll
Break out.
open and then
But this one comes out pabalik. So interesting. I think it's a good car. I think the most important thing is it's a hybrid, which means wala siyang coating.
It has a 1.384 kilowatt hour battery. So that's the direction these supercars and hypercars are going these days. And if anything, at least they're not full EV yet. Yet they still benefit from the added power.
No, but it's interesting because these are, for me, it's the parang yung realization of the cars from F1 tech coming and making their way into these cars, diba?
That's true.
The McLaren had the Artura, and now they have the W1.
Yeah.
And to say it's the successor to the F1 and the P1 is those are big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we'll see more of this because they just launched it. Hopefully soon enough we're gonna see some full reviews from international media. It's gonna be really interesting. So yeah, now for the last bit of our news, it's the Rally of Morocco.
Yeah.
Carlo was in Morocco just a few days ago.
God,
Yeah.
what a trip. So Ford flew me out to Morocco to witness the Rally of Morocco, which is interestingly the place where they test or shake down the cars for the Dakar. And Ford M Sport, the team that flew us in, was quite proud because one, they have the Raptor T1 Plus, which is the ultimate Raptor. It's their race truck, basically. And they also have an entirely stacked roster. They got Carlos Sainz because Audi ended its Dakar program. So they have Carlos Sainz Senior, kasi maraming, a lot of people think it's junior when you say Sainz lang, but the original Carlos Sainz, who's a 4-time Dakar winner. They have Matthias Elkstrom, and he's a DTM winner, World Rally champion, World Rally Championship rally driver with wins under his belt, DTM champion 2-time, I think. And he's been racing in a lot of different fields. And the fact that they got him shows that they say he's a jack of all trades. And this one proves it because it's completely different kind of driving. And they also have Guthrie. Forgot his name. My gosh. From this podcast.
Jet lag na yan.
Jet lag. But they also have an American racer, si Guthrie. He's Baja racer also. So he's quite new to the team, but when we interviewed him, he was quite excited for everything that would happen. And I think the most important thing about the trip is they gave us a chance to ride the T1 Plus, and it's so insane. I've never experienced such acceleration, deceleration, turning, and the most important thing is the Fox shocks, the smoothness. Imagine we're in the desert, they're blasting, but the desert has holes and dips and jumps, and the car just blasted through all of it.
Who was driving when you rode shotgun?
Well, I was supposed to ride with Sainz. I was asked who I wanted to ride with, and I said, of course, Sainz, because I've been watching it since I was a kid. But when I got in, his co-driver has kind of a small frame, and I kind of don't. And only half my butt went in the bucket seat. So Sainz turned to me and said, "Hey, your asshole don't fit." And I said, "Sorry, sir, it doesn't fit." And then he's like, "It's too dangerous." And it's true, because if I can't fit in the bucket seat, I'd hit my head and stuff and would die, basically. It would thrown from the car. So I was lucky enough that they allowed an extra taxi ride for Matthias Elkstrom. He took me out for a blast, and you have to read all about it. I did write an article, and it's available. You can check it out on our website, but I don't think words do it justice. So we'll be probably posting a video about the ride itself soon. And it's just an insane experience to be able to ride in a tier 1. They call it the T1 Ultimate class, and I can see where Ultimate comes from for the Dakar teams.
Just a teaser. I saw the snippets of Carlos taxi ride. Wild stuff. I saw some of the ditches. Your camera caught some of it. Ang lalim nun. Just blasted through it.
Diba, your butt puckers up, so you're going toward it, you're like, oh, and then you brace yourself, but nothing. It just flies over it, and you're just amazed at everything. I don't think I've ever been in a car. This is the top tier, number 1 car experience of my life. So I'm so thankful for it, and I'm just hoping I can impart it and explain how it felt, because it's so hard to put into words, sir.
Yeah. So let's wait. Let's stay tuned for that. So now let's. Sorry.
Will the technology trickle down kaya na? I wonder what learnings they will get from
Actually, baliktad eh. That's what I was asking. I was asking Matt Wilson, he's not the dealer principal today. Matt Wilson is the team principal for Ford M Sport. So it's actually a family affair. His dad founded the team and hired Carlos Sainz in 1987 to race the Ford Sierra Cosworth then. And now the son, Matt, took over the family business, and now he got Carlos Sainz again. So Carlos Sainz started his rally career with Ford, and currently is back with Ford. So
Full circle.
full circle thing.
Full circle.
It's quite a nice story, actually. So I think it's an opposite trickle down, because the Raptor T1 Plus actually uses a 5-liter V8 Coyote, 5-liter Coyote V8 from the Ford lineup, diba? And then it's got the Fox shocks. Of course, they're specialized for the T1 Plus class, but actually the T1 Plus, they were telling me, has less suspension travel than the Raptors, because it's limited by the regulations. So the Raptors actually have more suspension travel and more articulation than the T1 Ultimate class.
So in a way, you could say that the Raptor, regular road going Raptor, could take similar beating as what you drove.
No. It's so far. It's really a prototype car. So it's basically the F1 of off-roaders, and it's so nice. But I think it's a trickle down, trickle up effect. I mean, they call it a Raptor T1 Plus, and it's a body kit, but also, the engines, the V8 that we all know and love from the Mustang, and the suspension is basically the same brand, not necessarily the same one you get in the Raptor.
Is it off the rack suspension kaya or
No.
is it custom?
It's all custom.
Custom.
But BF Goodrich also, the tires. So interesting.
Typical Ford tires.
Typical Ford tires, which have so much grip off-road. It's insane how much grip the cars have off-road. Braking off-road from 170 to 60 takes a second or two. The G-forces were a bit insane at the time.
All right, so let's move on to what we are driving this week. We only have 2 entries.
Yeah.
And funny enough, yung isa doon na kay Anton, who isn't here. So the first one is the Honda CB500F. It's a motorcycle. It's just for a quick rundown. It's the same engine as the Rebel 500, but it's a naked bike. And honestly, they have the same pace, same power, but this one is a bit more fun to ride. Yun lang. It's been with me for nearly a week, and yun. Having fun, a lot of fun with it. And I'll come out with a full review on it, and should be good.
Yeah, we have a small video of me actually getting on the bike. And at first, we thought it was going to be a comedy na it's the 6'2" publisher trying to get on this tiny bike or make a bike look tiny. But actually, when I got
Wasn't so bad.
wasn't so bad.
Carlo hopped on a 450N, CF Moto 450NK before. It looked like a toy.
Yeah. So
This one wasn't so bad.
This one, it fits me. The ergonomics fit. It's quite nice. Still a bit small visually, but
Visually.
in terms of like the ergonomics, everything felt good.
At least it's good. Sa akin kasi, sakto eh. Sakto lang lagi for me. So the next one we're driving is the Santa Fe Hybrid. A car which none of us have any experience with at the moment. I have no idea how they drive, the Hyundai hybrids. No idea.
Well, I tried the Ioniq hybrid
Way back when.
way back when, yes. But it was interesting. It felt like a Prius that was surprisingly faster. Like it had a sport mode, and the sport mode, really gave the car a little bit more oomph. And then you still get 20 kilometers per liter. It's actually a good buy for a second-hand car. I've seen them go as low as 750K.
I'm eager to see what Anton thinks about the Santa Fe hybrid because I'm excited about these new hybrids because of how the Honda hybrids drive. I like them. I remember Anton and I made a compare of the RAV4 hybrid and the CRV hybrid. And the CRV hybrid was just so much more fun to drive. So if the Hyundai hybrids are anything near as that should be good.
Yeah.
And of course, how good is fuel economy in such a huge SUV?
Yeah.
I'm interested. I'm looking forward to it. So on to my favorite part.
Your favorite part, yeah.
A lot of people's favorite part of the podcast, marketplace finds. Where is it? Oh, sorry. The theme for this week, Sir Dinzo picked. They didn't have one last week, right? So
The rant was too long.
yeah. So this was from Sir Dinzo's win 2 podcasts ago.
Yeah.
Hybrids. The theme for the week is hybrids.
Hybrids.
Now, I'm going to explain my pick a bit. I was very close to picking a CRZ.
I saw that. I saw CRZ also.
Yeah. There's one going around about 700K manual Mugen.
It's the same one I saw.
It's really nice, but it's also a mild hybrid, which means it doesn't fall under the coding exemption of the Evida law. So I went with something I drove when I first came back to the industry, and we drove in a Toyota ride and drive to Subic, and it's the Camry hybrid, a 2022 2.5 liter Camry hybrid. This one, it's one of the most underrated cars for me. It's, again, like we discussed in our other episode, the last man standing in the mid-size sedan market. And, I was doing 20 kilometers per liter then, and it was quite quick. I think outside of the GR cars, it's the fastest car that Toyota sells. And it's got good ADAS for what it is. It's a 2-year-old car. It's being sold here at 1.78 million, which is a bit high, admittedly.
Still a bit expensive.
Yeah, but for what you get in the car and the nice back seat that you get, nice interior, it's one of the best Toyotas, most underrated Toyotas you can buy today.
And no need to line up at the dealership for that if you're buying that.
At one point meron. At one point meron.
I mean that second hand.
Yeah, buying second hand you won't have a
Kasi when it was new, the waiting time was long.
yeah.
It was right before the pandemic, and it really affected arrival times for the Camry
And to
Highland.
think, before the pandemic, wala pa yung tax break.
Yeah.
So then the tax break came.
And road trek, diba? That's what we rode.
It's nice, diba?
On road trek, yeah.
It's a nice car. It's a really, really good premium car.
Well, that's my entry.
All right. So for my entry, let's save Sir Dinzo's for last because he was the winner of the last one. So when he said hybrids, I already knew what I was gonna find. CT200H.
Okay.
It's been in my marketplace for a while. I've been looking at these. No, I'm not gonna buy one. I don't have any intention, but I like it. I've never driven one, but I always
You've never driven one.
No, it's pretty old. You were still in Lexus when this launched, right?
I launched it. Yeah.
Oh, you launched it. In
Not just launched it. I've owned one.
I own one.
I owned one. It was a white non-F Sport, and a lot of people said they look down on the CT200H because they think it's just a Prius with a Lexus badge. It's actually not just a Prius with a Lexus badge. It's a Prius with a Lexus badge and an independent rear suspension. So it handles like a warm hatch.
Warm hatch.
Warm
Because it
hatch.
doesn't have the power of a hot hatch.
It has good power in the mid-range. Acceleration from stop, it's slow. But when you're about 80, then you need to overtake 110. It's about as fast as anything turbocharged on the market at that time. So it's fine. I drove it up to Ilocos and back, 1,000 kilometers. I put one tank of gas in it. And the tank is small, 26 liters now.
26 liters. Wow, that's ambitious. So it's selling for 730,000. Swapping value is 810K. Not bad. I've always liked it. So yeah.
I think with that's like a 2012. No, you'd have to kind of worry about the battery condition also.
Because it's been more than a decade.
Yeah, so you should probably, if someone's gonna consider buying a CT200H, just drop by Lexus, have them check the battery condition. Usually, naman I've never seen one actually need a new battery, but I've seen some that have batteries replaced. So I've seen it on marketplace na may CT200H na new battery.
How much is what? How much is one?
Well, I remember when I was asking my friends, about 300,000.
For the battery,
Ouch. But that's gonna last you another decade.
Yeah, last year another decade. The interior of this car is nice. Got nice bucket seats, handles well, drives well.
actually, that's one thing you have to consider when buying hybrids now because they started appearing in the market a decade ago, a decade or so, and now you're starting to see the end life of those batteries and something to factor in
Yeah.
when you
Yeah, when we were selling them before, we'd say it was the life of the car, but the life of the car is pegged at about 10 years. To be fair to Lexus and Toyota, in terms of batteries, they used a little bit. They have a charging system that's very, because you don't go very far on electric mode. The battery systems on Toyotas and Lexus are very undertuned, so they charge a battery until 70% lang, 60% lang.
yeah.
So they don't stress out the battery as much. But it's always nice to have the battery checked when you're looking at a second-hand hybrid more than 10 years old.
I've seen some pre-I that under ad description, the batteries have been replaced already also. So,
Yeah, it's about
These are the first release Prius models too.
yeah.
All right. So for you, Sir Dinzo, what's your marketplace find?
Choosing between cars, but I'll end up with the I've always saved the CRZ in my lists.
Yes.
It came out with the 86 around the same time. The 86 was a bit hotter. Initially,
a lot hotter.
It
right?
was more sports car-ish.
Yeah, but driving them back to back, I like the CRZ more. The handling, the size, not so much the fuel efficiency. That's what's fascinating about it. They seem to have tuned it to use electric motor to help the performance, and it even has curse.
Yeah.
What's it called? What does Honda call it here?
I forgot what Honda called it, but basically the S plus, parang plus mode. on
Diba?
the
Para it's a
steering.
transistor that saves energy and then
Capacitor. Yeah.
capacitor, no? And you
Yeah.
can boost it. And
It gives you about 5 to 10 horsepower more.
yeah, and there's a nice little whine at the back when you activate
for
it.
about 5 seconds.
Yeah,
I
that's
realized it's similar to the Ioniq 5N's boost, the N boost mode.
Except this was at the time the only manual hybrid you could buy. Even mild hybrids before
why?
weren't. And funny
Even
enough,
now.
I
Where are you gonna get a manual
think
hybrid?
there was one. I just forgot what. But I remember the CRZ made a big impression on me because Dinzo picked me up going to an event in the CRZ, the Mugen. You had the white one.
Oh,
Yeah, I think we were going to World Trade.
yeah.
And then I was riding in it, and I was like, it's a nice car. He had me drive it a little bit, and we were struggling to get the curse to work because you really need a high battery charge to use it.
Yeah.
So we couldn't get it to work. We were in fourth going around. But I was like driving it. I was like, as a manual transmission, it's got a better transmission than the 86 by a lot.
You own both, right?
I've owned both the 86 and the CRZ. 86 was nice, but in terms of practicality and in terms of driving feel, the CRZ was nicer.
Yeah, I'd say, but at that time, I felt it was the best of Honda in a Honda.
Yeah.
That's why I liked it so much. And what it represented, parang a hybrid. Is it a sports car? Not in the
really.
It's a two-door, two.
What is it? It's not a GT. What is?
Oh,
Semi.
Philippines is a four-seater. You have
4-seater,
back seats. Because in the States, you had like cubbies lang in the back. But in the Philippines, you had seats in the
Yeah,
back.
my mom fit in the back. My mom's small.
Yeah.
It's a not so grand tourer, but it can be a tourer. I
Not
guess.
really, no. Its economy is decent, 10.
So what is it?
Yeah,
But what is it? Yeah,
Sporty hatchback.
whatever it is, I
Sporty
like
hatch.
it. So,
Yeah, I loved it too.
My only problem with the CRZ was because we live in the Philippines, when the start-stop system comes in, namamatay yung aircon. And you can feel it.
Yeah.
So it becomes a fan lang. Nawawala yung condenser. So it's just sitting there and you're like, okay, umiinit na. Then you eventually end up turning off the start-stop system every time you start the car. Which is, useless na sa hybrid. Diba?
Yeah.
yeah, so that's mine. And hitting this. Prices are not bad na.
Yeah.
This is 750 for 19,000 kilometers.
Oh, that's low.
It's low.
Pero feeling ko
Scary low.
the batteries ano rin. Maybe no.
Yeah, but
even
this car's battery isn't as you don't rely on it as much as the Prius or the CT because it's a mild hybrid. So
saka it wasn't driven much.
But it's not cheap also.
I've seen the prices. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, you also have to watch out. I was able to get mine before quite cheap. I think 600K.
Wow.
But that's because the clutch was out and I had to replace the clutch. Thankfully, the clutch, Honda Makati, for some miraculous reason, had a stock. I texted pa si Sherwin Kwan and I was like, Sherwin, meron na tayong clutch niyan. Tapos naghanap sila and I found one in Honda Makati and it was about 20K lang to replace.
See, this is how you run a car business. You have parts for obscure, not volume models. Diba?
Just a few here and there, just
Yeah.
just in case somebody needs like a
Yeah,
clutch.
don't make them wait 6 months.
No, but I was lucky. They had one. I don't know if they have
I'm sure they restock after you.
one more.
Yeah, just keep one always in stock.
Yeah.
Just in case somebody else comes in.
Yeah, it was slipping quite a lot. Like any acceleration past 2,000 RPM would
I'd get them automatic for this one.
Oh, really?
Parang it's okay. The purity, I will get a manual Miata because that is a more pure object. But for this, kasi there's a daily component also to this.
Medyo no-brainer naman.
Parang yeah, I'll sacrifice a bit of.
It's gonna drive well pa rin naman.
Yeah, it's a good car. So I guess we have to decide among the three which one won this week's thing on Marketplace.
Weird kasi pipiliin ko yung sa akin.
I would pick the CT. My vote goes to the CT also.
Man, I vote for this. So CT na.
CT. So,
So-
the Dinzo streak has been broken.
Finally.
I will contest. Wait, where's Court of Appeals?
Kailan ka mananalo, boss?
I don't know.
You haven't.
But for me, because the CT is just right now it's a practical buy. It's a full hybrid system like the Camry, but it's lighter and it drives arguably better than the Camry.
And it has more character than the Camry.
It has a lot of character. It was the first sporty, quote unquote, sporty Lexus when Lexus was starting to turn around. It was the last launch before the IS350.
Yeah.
So talagang that was the time that they started going full on performance cars.
All right.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
Congratulations.
So let's wait for the next Marketplace find on what theme I will be picking.
Yes.
But I guess that's it for us today. You guys have anything else? You guys are good?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right. So that's it for our milestone episode.
Episode 10.
Hopefully, in the future episodes, we're going to have even more people here or even more twists to our episodes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you guys for listening. And don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel and follow us on Spotify because this is where you'll be listening to full episodes.
Yeah.
All right. So, see you guys next week.
See you.